Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast on Prince. My name is Michael Dean, and you're listening to podcastjuice.net. We're still alive. We're still here. We're still doing our thing. Let's just get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is Mr. Big Sexy and Saxer. How are you?
Man, I am cold. It's supposed to be raining all weekend down here, and I ain't with it. But at the same time, you know, hopefully it'll wash some things away because I got to get out of the house. I'm starting to climb the walls a little bit.
Oh, man, we'll go out and take a walk or something.
Mm-hmm. I need to get out, though, and do things, you know.
You're missing them 5-star restaurants.
There you
Stop
go.
it.
This is where you should be cooking. This is where you turn into the chef, you know.
Oh, I've been doing some cooking, too. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
But still, man, damn, it ain't the same.
Little grilled cheese sandwich with a sprinkling of spinach.
Topped with truffle oiled butter.
With a side of lightly boiled Roman noodles.
When I left college, I swore on my life that I would never eat another ramen noodle, and I haven't.
Hey, you never know the way things are
I
going.
know. That ain't happening.
Those might be the last. That thing might be gold at a certain point. But we don't keep that under wraps. They're not hoarding that yet. But anyway.
Shoot, I mean, you go in with $10, you come out with 1 million of those.
Yeah. So, all right. Also joining us is Mr. Big Sexy and Zach. I said that already. So also joining us, I'm on. Let me tell y'all right now, I am on one today. Also joining us is Aunt Pooh. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing good. Work is going well. A little bit of press because, you know, people talking about till May and possibly July. And I'm like, that's cutting into Madden and FIFA releases. And I'm like, time's going to get rough. But other than that, I'm enjoying life.
All right. Well, that's good. Good to hear. All right. Well, man, we're here to talk about Prince. We ain't here to talk about the Rona. So let's stay focused on that. But one of the big stories, or one of the only sort of stories at this point about Prince, is we don't have a release that we're talking about, is this news of Prince's siblings versus the estate. And when I say the Prince siblings, you know, I'm talking about the people who, after Prince's death, his estate, or his what do they want to call this? I'm just losing words. Like, all of his stuff goes to his family, right?
His heirs, yeah. His
heirs. I'm sorry. And we've been hearing about this off and on. I remember maybe it was last year, there was a news story that Tyka was, you know, trying to get money, or was doing bad and wanted to get money from the estate. And now this time we are hearing Sharon, Noreen, and John Nelson have filed a petition for compensation from Prince's estate. And I'm going to read a little bit here from the blast. It's a very short article, I think. But essentially it says, according to court documents obtained by the blast, Sharon, Noreen, and John have filed a petition for compensation to Prince's estate. Prince left behind all his assets to his 6 siblings. The estate is run by Comerica Bank, who have not seen eye to eye with the heirs numerous times. The siblings have fought Comerica, accusing them of mismanaging money and leaving them in the dark about deals. Comerica has denied the allegation and claimed to be doing the best given the circumstances. In the newly filed documents, the heirs are asking the court to approve payment for services and efforts provided to the estate. The heirs say they have provided considerable time and investment in business matters related to the estate, unlike others who have performed services for Prince's estate. S&J, which is the 3 heirs, have not received any financial sums for numerous and repeated services they have contributed to the estate. The 3 siblings claim they have had to rely solely on their pensions, Social Security, personal savings, and loans from friends to cover the costs needed to support the Prince estate, despite the millions paid to advisors, attorneys, and others approved by the court. So Sharon, Noreen, and John say they want to continue helping out the estate, but cannot continue without being paid. So it's very interesting. Last part says the documents note Quote, as this court is aware, the estate has now been ongoing for over 3 years. In this time, millions have been paid to the personal representatives, their accountants, attorneys, and legal advisors. The heirs say they have previously requested to be paid while the estate matters are being worked out, but were shut down. Then, so this was March 27th that this story came out. Now, there is a new development in this thing here. And it's a very interesting title that the blast did. It's very, very shady. It says, singer Prince's estate says his family needs to stop asking for money. Claim IRS issues. AKA, I ain't got it. The estate for singer Prince is firing back at the late singer's family members, claiming they haven't been paid since his death. According to court documents obtained by the blast, Comerica Bank, who is the personal representative of Prince's estate, is responding to the heirs pleading for money. Comerica Bank is asking the court to deny Prince's heirs' petition for compensation, where they claim to have not seen a penny from the estate since the singer's death. In response, Comerica says if they were forced, he said forced, like they don't want to pay. I guess that's why would you use that word? If they were forced to pay out money to the heirs, they would have to sell off an asset of the estate.
Whoa.
They point out an issue with the IRS they have to deal with before paying out money. Comerica says the heirs have been fully aware of the issues with the IRS, which include the Internal Revenue Service believing the estate is being undervalued on paper. The estate also says, and while the personal representative is sympathetic to the financial situation of the Nelsons have refused to take advantage of opportunities to participate in consulting opportunities arranged for them by the personal representative in connection with Paisley Park and entertainment transactions. Comerica is asking the court to shut down Prince's heirs and allow them to deal with the estate issues. Very interesting. So first, before I go on to my uneducated rant, I want to talk to the lawyer here. He can help maybe give us some guidance and walk us through some of this. So what is your take on this, Big Six?
Well, there's a lot to unpack here. One thing that catches my attention is the heirs, and let me get real clear, I'm not ripping anybody, but they are saying they haven't been, compensated for, quote, numerous services they have contributed to the estate. So that tells me they want to be paid as employees. Now, I am not privy as to what's been going on out there. I don't know what they have done or what they think they have done or what have you, but I do know that Comerica has been appointed by the court to oversee this, and part of their duty is to A, keep the heirs informed, which apparently they're doing, and B, make it profitable, which is questionable, but I do see that this whole thing with the IRS claiming it's undervalued, that's got to be addressed, because if it's undervalued, how can you be making things profitable if it's undervalued and you're trying to hide paperwork? We don't know. But going back to the heirs, they're saying that they want to be paid as like their employees. And the thing is, the estate is fired back saying, look, we gave you guys opportunities to participate in this, consulting opportunities and what have you. One thing when you have a dispute like this, the aggrieved party, in this case, the heirs, must show an effort to mitigate their damages. I don't see that here. All I'm saying is we ain't gotten paid, so we want our money. That's not going to be enough. You can't just sit on your duff and wait for things to come in while you let your own personal situation, deteriorate. You've got to make other steps. And one thing I'm going to be really ticky-tack with the blast is he didn't leave this to them. Excuse me. He died without a will. They inherited it by intestate succession. So it's not like he chose to do any of this, which is why we all need to have a will.
All right. And Pooh, what's your take on all this?
First, Mark just stole my thunder with the will. I'm really starting to believe, I understand that there are some people out there that were closer to Prince that have said he had a will, and I definitely take the lead from Mike. How am I going to say I know more than they do? However, looking at this mess, I'm really starting to believe this man did not have a will. Because I just feel like all the stuff that he had, how does he just be so haphazard when not getting a will certified, documented, the trust, all that stuff set up that, in my opinion, someone in that position with that money does. So the fact that people are still looking for a will makes me believe he didn't do that. That's just my gut feeling. And just overall, I'm just really confused about this whole situation regarding, and Mark, help me out. Isn't the estate supposed to be working for the heirs to best, and that was the word, to best capitalize on these assets to provide revenue to these heirs who essentially own the estate?
Well,
am I wrong in that?
The heirs do own the estate. Let's not get it twisted. They own it. And the thing is, though, Comerica has the duty to make it profitable. Now, because all of this came about through unfortunate means, and again, you have an intestate situation, that means it's all fucked up. Now, if the heirs think Comerica's going to walk in, 6 months after he passed and start dishing out checks, no, doesn't work that way. There were outstanding IRS bills, there were other debts that needed to be accounted for, and things of that nature. Some things long term, some things short term. The heirs are entitled now. Again, if you own a piece of a multi-million-dollar property and you're not getting paid, you have recourse. You don't have to sell your stake at all. You can go to some of these places that will give you a long-term loan using your piece to secure it, like a lot of these lottery winners do. You can make this monetized. I don't think the heirs are getting good advice, or I don't think they're listening to advice. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think that they're not listening to advice. I think that they're not getting good advice. That's just my opinion. And sadly, I hate to do the MJ Prince thing, but I look at, and I know he put a will in place, and I'm sure he put a lot of executives and a lot of different processes in place. But I look at how well MJ's estate has been run. Now, of course, Michael Jackson had, I believe, way more assets. And he, during his life, he had bigger hits, which had more money. But I still look at how it's been run. And I think 1 year, didn't they clear $1 billion? And I'm just looking at, and I understand Prince, he has this catalog of music, and he doesn't have the money. He didn't have the money, and he didn't have the assets that Mike had. But I'm just trying to understand, how is it about to be 4 years later and this estate is still in a mess? Yes, I hear about the taxes, but I'm just thinking, in 4 years, that hasn't been taken care of? So just me outside looking in, and I understand I'm not educated on everything that goes into managing an estate and everything and I don't know all the stuff in here that's going on with the Prince estate that goes into running the Paisley Park. They went with the Graceland people, and you see that they let that go because either they were mismanaging or just god awful. So that was a misstep there. I just look at, okay, in 4 years, what have you done when you do have a valuable asset? You went against his wishes and took it exclusively off a title and put it everywhere. Okay, how has that made money? And I'm just trying to understand. I really feel like there's ways to monetize the Prince catalog, the Prince name, the Prince image. What have they done besides, in my opinion, outside looking in? Again, I don't know everything, but outside looking in with my uneducated eyes, you guys are not doing that great of a job. I think the only thing that they've done great is getting those masters that people said was undergoing degradation, sitting in that vault, away and getting cataloged properly, taken care of digitally, and in that California vault.
All right. I want to go to the Book of Nelson. We'll start off with a scripture. Chapter 20:10, verse 1. It says, dirty fat banker sold a house today. Sold it at an auction, wants the family out the way. Kicked them on the street because they couldn't pay the tax. Call it an act of God. Amen. Listen, here's my take on this thing. And it's an age-old thing we always see. When there's a big asset or there's big business or something left behind, and the family that is, or the people that it's going to aren't business savvy, don't have any financial resources, are not clicked in and out there by themselves, the wolves are gonna come. Another verse, chapter, book of hip hop, book of Tribe Called Quest. What'd they say? The record business is shady. Paraphrase. Big business is shady. There's no fairness. And when you're dealing with millions of dollars, there's people that want that bag, who want control, and there's people who want to make power moves. In my opinion, when you keep seeing month after month of different heirs putting their business out on Front Street, going to the media, well, that's not even going to the media. They're going to the courts, and then certain media places are picking up on this because they're watching those court filings to see if they can get a story out of it. You are seeing the heirs go to the courts saying, hey, I'm struggling. Where I thought I was supposed to be getting paid. Where's the money at? You saw Tyka. She going through it. Had to sell off some assets. Going in bankrupt. Owes all this money to different lawyers and stuff. Now you see these heirs. They say they put in some work and they haven't gotten paid. Again, it's the same to me. It's nothing. It's not no mystery. That bank, Comerica, they're gonna be a bank. They're gonna be big bank, big business. They're in a position. Oh, we're sitting on some fat here. Well, we ain't gonna let this go. We in control. This is a cash cow. A bank is, as you said, their job is to what? Make profits. Now the question is, who they making profits for? Who getting paid? The family said they got the consultants and the lawyers and all these other people. All these other people, I guarantee you, getting checks. They ain't doing it for free. There's nobody up there, I'm doing this for the love of the legacy, y'all. Hell, stop it. Stop it. I know let me stop. Listen, people are getting paid. Now, my thing about it is, and I think what they saying, I look at it as this. How you going to have the family who, now I'm asking Big Sexy, who created this? Who created the law or whatever? Is that from the government or the state to say when this person dies, if they don't have a next of kin or there's not a kid or something, it go to their family? Is that a law or something?
That is in the probate code, yes. Yeah,
so going by our laws, I don't say they laws, going by the law thing, they supposed to be in charge. It's they shit. That's what the system said. So when you have the person who is supposed to own it, I guess they own the estate. Do they own the estate, Big Sexy?
They do.
When you own something and you ain't getting paid from it, that's the issue. Now, when the person in front of your money tells you, well, I can't pay you right now because, see, I gotta deal with this. I would ask the question, who do you work for? Who, at the end of the day, who is the boss? Who gets to decide who overrides shit? So when you tell me that, who's the boss can say, nah, it ain't gonna work like that? Mom, that's only $10. Make it work. Make it enough, goddammit. So you mean to tell me I'll be the owner or something and somebody else, and this is a family business. Let's get that right. This is a family business. You now the owner, and they tell you everyone else getting paid but you. You go to the shop and you see the secretary, they bring in somebody in here to consult. This guy, he's the lawyer. His job is to send out letters every week. This person over here, he the custodian working in this, and this their livelihood. But you struggle. And it ain't like it's, oh, well, it's a small amount of money. So, we talking millions of dollars. You see the concerts being put on. You see was it CBS? They got a special coming out, right? Mm-hmm. Big budget, primetime TV. You see the special coming on. Oh, you probably see all the Facebook. Oh yeah, y'all, the tributes coming on. I know they sitting at home. I know they sitting at home like, ain't this about a bitch? Fuck a tribute. A tribute. Where my tribute, nigga? Oh, come on. It's for the legacy, y'all. Legacy? Huh? What the fuck I care about some goddamn, where my bread at? I would be outraged. Like, huh? Who got paid for that? Where's my share? Hold on
I do have one question.
Oh, go ahead. You know the Reverend's talking, but go ahead.
I'm sorry, Reverend. The question I have is, where is Londell McMillan? Where are this team of, quote, black female lawyers that have been around him? Where are they?
They got fired when the state came in. They ain't got nothing to do with it. They out the picture. They don't work there.
Wait. They got fired.
If they was hired by Prince, right? At the times that they worked, they don't work there no more. So they ain't got nothing to do with it.
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is this, and this is something Michael had obviously over Prince. And I think I know why. But it's like you got all these attorneys around you, and you are a very wealthy person. I'm sure they were in his ear, dude, handle this. Now, you can only tell Prince so much. We all know this. But I think part of it also is one of the differences between Mike and Prince. Mike had 3 kids. And so Mike's whole thing was like, let me take care of the knuckleheads.
We understand all that. We're dealing about where we at right now. Where we at right now is the family is asking for where's their money. Everybody else is getting paid. We know why we're here. We understand why we're here, right?
Then the family needs to, first of all, do something they haven't done yet, and that's present a united front, which they have not done. And when you have multiple people thinking they're in charge, you're going to have that problem.
Of course.
So
that's why they go into the courts. So they go into the courts. If they're not united, they still owners, right?
They are.
They still need to get paid, or at least have an understanding of what's going on. And my thing is this. Right, let me finish my thing. I'm going to go back to you. So my thing is this. When you are in these positions and you see these types of things going on, it's not rocket science and all they're going to tell you all kind of shit. But at the end of the day, and this is the question I want to pose to the fans and the rest of the community. If you know the money you spending isn't really going to Prince's family, should you question that? Do you have a right to question that? Do you care? I know we spend a lot of time talking about the music and all that, which we should. And that's why I pulled from the scripture of Prince, because he didn't just talk about his music. He talked about topics. He was, in a lot of ways, he was about his business. He had some shortcomings in terms of, wheels and stuff, but he spent a lot of part of his career about getting his business handled, right? That's what a lot of people know him for. He didn't put slave on the face because he's talking about I'm a slave to the music. He wanted to get ownership. And he would constantly talk about, when will we be paid for the work we were done? Do you really think Prince would have been like, oh, when I die, I don't care, man. Let the bankers have my money. Damn my family. No. Most people in their right mind think like that. Even if the so-called narrative, I said so-called narrative, is that it ain't got nothing to do with his family. Which I don't think is reality. But I understand when people say that. Even if he didn't have nothing to do with his family, why would his blood, sweat, and tears go to pay everybody else that ain't got shit to do with it? Mm-hmm. That would be my question. And my other question would be, and again, I ask this because we spend our money and our time on this. You spending your money and time to make sure somebody else's future is secure. I'm talking about people that are not Nelsons, that ain't work with Prince. He didn't fuck with them people. May not even really know them like that, if knew them at all. But you best believe when them ticket sales are sold, when those TV specials are made, when those reissues are going, where you think that money's going to? When they tell you, oh, well, we can't pay you because if we was to pay you, or if we was forced to pay you, right, we'd have to sell off an asset. I'm sorry, Google, did you hear Google came in? Google said, I don't understand. That a bitch? When they say they're forced, they gotta, do they say that when they pay the consultants? Do they say that when they pay all the lawyers sending out the cease and desist letters? Do they say that when they pay the engineers at the studio? Do they say that with the janitors and all the secretaries at the Comerica Bank? All them people that money's coming from the print stuff. Do they tell them people, oh, you're not going to get paid because we'd have to sell off their estate or assets? No, they cut the checks because they know people will be people wouldn't work there no more if they wasn't getting paid. So why are those the quote unquote essential employees? But the owners, and we're talking about senior citizens, right? All those heirs are up there in age. They ain't out here flossing. They ain't out there all on the gram. They ain't out there acting a fool. These are older folks. These the elders. They said they're using their Social Security checks to live, which they probably would have been doing anyway. But the point is, the system said they the owner, so they don't have to live like that, right? Even just, and again, it's not a fair game, but even if you were just keeping it a buck, and you say, you know what, Miss Nelson and Mr. Such and Such, and they struggling. Man, go on in and slide them. Make sure them folks is good. It don't look right. It don't look right. We in here balling. Our people are, we're paying our people every 2 weeks. We can't have the elderly out on the news looking like they can't make it. That shit look ridiculous. That's what I would be at. Who's the person that was optically, this shit looks ridiculous. It's not a good look. But if you was a hardcore banker type business dude, you'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Send a lawyer down to the courtroom telling people, man, give me some legalese. They ain't getting no bread. I don't give a fuck how it looked. That's how I look at it. Like, it just don't look right. How do you tell the fan? And that's why they don't ever want to bring this. They don't want to bring that conversation. They'd rather keep you focused on the products and not behind the scenes. Because if you look at this, it don't look right. How the older people, that's the heirs, they struggling. You could say, well, they didn't have they're not unified or didn't. Well, we know that, but they still ain't eating. So how are they going to change that? It don't look right. Just like when you see people out on the street or, oh, that's sister such and such. Yeah, her son went to prison. And, well, she should have been a good mother. Yeah, but she ain't nobody. She can't pay her light bill. Now, go on in. Somebody go in there and take care of that, goddamn it. They don't look right. She a member of the church. Matter of fact, they own the goddamn church. Yeah, but see, they mismanaging. See, that's not how we get down. That's how they get down. But we're not supposed to be doing it like that. Look at Prince, how he used to get down. Was he have that attitude? Oh, Clyde's, what's the brother's name from the drummer, funky drummer?
Clyde Stubblefield?
Yes, yeah. Rest in peace. Did Prince, James, he didn't probably have his contract with James, and he didn't get his royalties from the record, so he can't pay his medical bill. That's on that brother. Now, cut him a check. It don't look right. That's how Prince got down. With all that's the school over there, they ain't have enough money to, you know what, keep it on the low. But we black, cut them a check. That shit don't look right. Not on my watch. Not on Prince's watch. It ain't happening. Like, that ain't the get. I'm saying, if you supposed to be they say the personal representative of Prince, don't you follow the lead? He made sure niggas was eating. Or he take care of people's families. Nah, that shit. Oh, Tyka and them, she's going through some situation with drugs. Yeah, I got you. You're going to the program. I got that. Don't worry about that. Keep that on the low. But we're not going to have my people out here looking crazy. You got countless stories of Prince after he died. When he took care of people, he wasn't obligated, probably didn't have to do it, but it didn't look good to him. In his spirit, he was like, nah, man, that ain't, nah. Cut them in the check, man. Damn that. Million Man March, Farrakhan. Prince ain't, Farrakhan, what did Prince do? Nah. Cut them the check. I got that. And you can keep that on the low, but we're not going to have our people out here looking like that. So when you got his own family out here looking wild, and don't talk to me about we got to sell off some assets and this and that and the third. You the representative of the man you're supposed to be representing, follow his lead. That wasn't his get down. Damn how, what about their money? Nah, cut him the check. You don't have your elder people out here looking crazy and they the owners? Yeah, man, that's why I said, this is not a good look, man. And more, we need to be talking about that kind of, to me, should be putting pressure on them like, yeah, you start taking us to the celebration? Yeah, but what about the people? What about the owners, though? Where does money go? I sat there personally, Prince standing 5 feet away from me on the stage before the show. They want me to play at the EMP, y'all. They want me to do an after show. And where the money going, though? I ain't playing a damn thing until I know who gets paid. Who owned the EMP? He stayed on that for like 30, 40 minutes.
I'm sorry, what's the EMP?
Experience Music Project that's here in Seattle is owned by Paul Allen, rest in peace. But when Prince came here to Seattle, it was Rainbow Children Tour. They wanted him to do it's a big music museum. It is expanded beyond that now. But it started out, it was based, Jimi Hendrix, I've Experienced Music Project, but it was a whole music. It's still, today, it's fascinating. But when it had just opened, when he had got here, it was brand new. Millions of dollars been spent on it. And at the time, they had an exhibit, I think it was a VR ride exhibit through the funk, right? And Maceo was a part of it, George Clinton, Bootsy, they filmed the whole movie and you sat in this thing and you rode to the mothership and it was a VR experience. It was dope. I mean, it's, blank check to make it. So they wanted Prince to come there, obviously. Or Prince was like, he is asking us, because we from Seattle, who owned that though? Where the money going for my shot? I'm not playing. He just kept going on about it. And somebody in the crowd was like, well, ask your boy Maceo. He in the exhibit. And he's like, what's this about, Maceo? Maceo,
damn.
I don't know. But then people was like, yo, Paul Allen, this is a Paul Allen thing. He bankrolled that. He wanted to give back. And what ended up Prince doing? Obviously, he was like, well, okay, I'm going there, but I ain't playing. And that's what happened. So after the show, we were all sitting in the front row. A lady came out, gave us all little badges to wear. They said, go down to the thing. They'll let you in and you guys can go there and eat. We did that. And Prince was there, the whole band. They did not play a show, but they took him on a tour of the museum. And it was like a little party. But he was about where the money going. Damn all that. Y'all ain't have me. No, I ain't. And then he told a story about, and those who were there can fact check me but he was talking about him and Eric Clapton doing some type of TV show. I could have sworn he was saying it was for ABC, but he was like, they would always come to me and Eric. They would want me to do this show all the time. But the reason why I would not do it, because I wanted to own it. And I wasn't going to do it if they owned it. And so it wasn't going to be no show. Damn, look at me. Where the bread at? This is what Prince was talking about. So if you think he would be on some, have my family out here looking crazy, my family, who this shit now owned to, I ain't here no more. You think he would have been on that rah-rah? Stop it. His actions show you he was different than that. So that's why I'm blasting. The shit don't look right. And more people need to be saying, yeah, get that together, man. Don't have it play out in the press. Like, don't have these elderly people out here looking like they're not eating. Now, that'd be one thing if it was, they want to floss out and get it together. That's all. If you're supposed to be that tight about representation of how Prince looks and how he's upheld, well, then you need to be having the same energy for all the Prince stuff, not just the product. Because the product is just a pathway to create more wealth. But then the question is, well, where the money going? So that's my rant. Now, Big Sexy, you wanted to jump in and say some other stuff?
Couple of things. With Mr. Stubblefield, one thing, and I've said this about Major League Baseball players too, regarding Curt Flood, a lot of people in that industry, baseball, have been eating extremely well because of free agency, and it all comes back to Curt Flood. They need to kick him down. Same thing with Stubblefield. His samples have been used all over the place. Now, I don't know if these cats don't know, the deal behind it, but they need to kick his estate down a little something. Now, going to our current situation, the thing that I would do is very simple. I would go to the court as, one of the heirs and say, look, I need an accounting. I need to know where every nickel has come in, where it's gone, what are our assets, what are our liabilities. And then you have that discussion. Because that way you are fully informed of what's cooking, and then you know where it's going and where it's not going. But that's the first thing that needs to happen.
For sure. And, I don't know if there's a way to pull these court records. This report from the blast is very slim on the details. So we're not sure what they are doing in those records or not, what that aspect is. But again, all I'm saying is there obviously needs to be something. There needs to be a sit down at the table. And if it's just a point where the bank, they're not trying to hear that or the family, whatever it is. Now, for me, I'm always going to side with our family on these types of things. I don't know all of the story. I don't know all the facts, but just for me, I'm gonna side with the elders and the family first. Whether or not they are right or not, I'll take that. But I'm on their side just because it just doesn't look right. There's no way in hell older people should be out here struggling like that. It ain't got nothing to do with how they manage their money or this. They own the shit. And if you're going by the same laws and the rules that y'all don't put on the playbook, then you're going to play by them, them rules. Because I guarantee if it was any such other situation, it wouldn't be like that. And And I'm gonna start going at these fugazi Prince fans who always be coming with that, oh, he didn't care about his family. What about their money? Stop it. Unless you know them people, stop it. If you're basing your logic on books, stop it. That's not the get down. Don't. I'm just saying, you look crazy. Because if it's your family, you wouldn't be saying, some outsider telling you about your situation, you'll be ready to fight. So stop with all that bullshit.
And can I add?
If you don't know the situation, then just shut the fuck up. Then just stay on the music.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man. You want to jump in? Go ahead.
Sorry about that. And can I also add that these same Prince fans that are talking ish on the family seem to have no problem dropping $500 for or $1,000 for the celebration, or spending the money for these vinyl collections, or going to the Target Center for this Prince related stuff, where the money is going to who exactly? But you mad that it could go to these family members that Prince didn't really quote unquote fuck with. Make that make sense.
It don't. Now, again, I totally understand wanting to gobble up and own Prince merchandise. We love Prince. We want to support it. My thing is, if we talking about the legacy, keeping the legacy alive, y'all, then okay, let's do that. But that doesn't mean that we blindly just give up our monies and time and it's going to being diverted somewhere else, right? That ain't keeping the legacy alive. That's keeping somebody else's pocketbook alive. But if those people are not doing what they're supposed to do, then we're supporting foolishness. I'm saying if, hypothetically, allegedly, I'm not condemning the estate either. Now, to keep it clear, I don't work for the estate. And as you see on every show, it says they ain't got nothing to do with it. And we ain't got nothing to do with them. And I feel no ways about that situation. But I'm just saying, I feel all ways about Prince. So I want to know when I'm supporting something, the people at the end is supposed to get what it is. Just like if I say don't support bootlegs. I said don't spend no money on no bootlegs. It ain't going to their family. Who that money going to? People that wasn't doing the blood, sweat, and the tears. And they don't own this shit. So I said don't support. So I have that same energy about it. If this shit ain't going to the people it's supposed to go to, I have a problem with that. And my problem, and I'm gonna say something about it. I'm not mad, but I'm not gonna act like it don't exist just because it don't make me feel good. Like, and again, I have no problem if you just want to focus on the music and the artistry. I totally understand that, but that ain't keeping the legacy alive. You know, that's just keeping your love of the music and the art, but the legacy. We talking about legacy? That means that's whose legacy? Everybody else's business be tight. But when it comes to once again, black music, it's always on some funny shit. That's an age-old thing. We've seen this countless many times over history. The artists will always be getting jacked out. Now you see when Prince is out the way, here come all these people. Same way it's the same people that's probably getting at Tyka and all them. Listen, let us represent you. Sell us your shit. We got power and resources. We're coming. The wolves is coming. Because there's money there. Prince built a body of work. It's worth something. And everybody wants a piece of it. But my problem is when the people who supposedly own it don't get a taste, and you got people telling them, oh, we can't give you your money because, stop it. You ain't got to sell off no goddamn asset just to pay these people, give these people something so they can eat. They can get a little taste so they ain't dipping into their social or whatever. And they say they doing work. be one thing if they just was like, well, we just want to cut our check. We ain't did shit, but we own this. They said they putting in work. And again, if you can pay everybody else, how they not getting paid? What business you know that ain't on some like Amazon? Well, shit. Does Bezos, did he get a cut, or does he be like, oh no, I'm gonna withhold my check. I can't pay myself, but I'm gonna pay everybody else. Or hell, richest motherfucker in the world. They ain't foregoing no money. And ain't nobody gonna tell. Ain't no shareholders. Nobody gonna tell. Oh, you ain't getting a check this time because we gotta pay off the IRS bills, or we might have to sell off some. No, we're gonna have to sell off some assets for you get paid. I would be insulted if I was in it. They told me, nigga, who's paying that nigga's paycheck then? Oh, well, that's different. Stop it. I'll burn this pay. You better stop playing with me. That's my getter. Y'all better stop playing. Shit. But anyway, I'm done. I'm talking shit. That's just corny to me, man. It's corny. All right. God damn. What do y'all think? That's the important thing. I want to know what all of y'all think. Am I off base? Are they just money hungry? Too bad for them? Or that's the way it goes, Mike? Let them handle their IRS bill first. You know? Why don't they all take a pay cut then? So that we can hurry up and get that bill paid off if that's the case, right? Wouldn't he get paid faster if they all paid? If they just did it for the love of the legacy?
That'd be socialism. You can't do that.
Well, or we'd be forced to sell off some ass. Stop.
That's the cold part right there. Well, we'd like to, but we had to sell pieces of it. That's one of those. That's one of those ice cubes. We're gonna come into the office and break everything up.
Hey,
where my check at, Doug?
TLC and them came in there strapped up. They was like, you don't get us our money. Got the fuck all that. Well, you see what had happened, T-Boss, was. I can see and maybe if they was, I don't know if they was younger or was more about that rah, like, nah. We're going to square this out. But maybe they see that these people, they don't have no resources. They ain't got no money. How they going to fight? We a $1 million, couple million, big million bank. We got capital. We got lawyers on call. What you going to do? You can't even afford to pay the lawyers you got. So, of course, ain't paying you shit. Why don't you sell this shit to us?
So Mark, my question is can they fire Comerica and get another estate planner? Is that something that they can do?
An heir slash, what's what I'm looking for, beneficiary to a trust can petition for the trustee's removal with agreement of all the other parties. But again, and if they need to do that, then they need to do that. But again, this all starts, they need to get unified and say, look, we need to see some accountings. And then once you get the accountings, that will let Comerica know that we're not fucking around here. So either you get on board with what we're doing and we work this shit out, or you can be replaced. That's simple. I think, though, and I'm not trying to be, a weenie here, I think the relative lack of sophistication and the bad information they're getting is preventing that from happening. I don't know if someone will just come to them and say, look, get together, demand an accounting and go from there. I think when you have multiple people, you have multiple agendas, and it's hard to reconcile that. Once they reconcile that, they can take over.
True. And these, I don't know the relationship between all the family members. I can only base it on, how is my relationship with my family members? How is your relationship with your other family members that you never really dealt with, but then you are dropped something that's worth a lot of money It's just like when, you know, somebody in the family member dies. Oh, that was my uncle and that was my such. Oh, okay, he left a little bit to all of us, and they're gonna start arguing over who gonna get what or what brother and sister get this. So imagine that's happening with this. And you know how our families be broken apart anyway, and now they got this thing. Okay, I want to do this. I want, and you know, so they all over the place. So I get why they're separated like that. That's some normal type shit, unfortunately. And it goes back to what you said. You don't have a will. This is what happens. But, you know, this is what happens. But on the other side of it, when it's playing out in public like this, we dealing with something that's major. Yeah, this shit, this ain't cool. You know, yeah, there's probably many different people hollering at this Heirs ear, this lawyer getting at this Heirs. Now, again, these other lawyers are probably like, yeah, you can do this, but here go my invoice. Oh, you ready to fire me? Okay, here go my invoice. I'm gonna get my pay. You niggas might not get nothing, but I need to get paid. That's all I do know. And I just wanted to work for you for a little bit so I could get my taste out of it. So all the lawyers, they gonna get paid. All the consultants, they getting paid. And to just bring it back to where we are right now with the coronas and all this, we don't ever want to talk about this, but we're talking about this. Is why we really got to make sure we start thinking about getting our shit in order, because the times we're living in right now, unfortunately, you could get sick, you could be the head of your house, or you may have different things that you own, and you want to make sure that shit don't go flying in the wind. You know, what happens to my affairs? Nigga, I got sick. Oh, well, I didn't think it was going to happen to me. Well, here's what could happen. So let's learn, especially right now, we at risk right now. A lot of Americans is at risk. So we need to start being smart and start thinking about them conversations we don't normally like to think about. Like, man, let me make sure I got some paperwork in order or something. You don't know what could happen. Fuck around, be here next week and got sick to the point you can't write nothing down no more, or you in the hospital or something. Then what happened? Then your family, oh, Mike, his stuff. Well, yeah, but see the bank he was banking at, they saw some value, and so they went to the courts and took over for that, and now his kids got. He got one kid over here in Hawaii. His other child, Gracie, live over here. Their parents may not get along, whatever, but now they trying to get the money that he was paying all the time, and they can't get access to it. They said they got to pay off some old tax bill first for his family. Kids can't eat. Talking about, oh, he didn't have no relationship, or he got another bill to pay, so we don't know. See, nah, we can't go out like that. When your family over here struggling, that's on. So we got to take care of. So that's another thing. We got to take care of our business, man. We got to start thinking about this shit. Or even if you don't have a family, you got things that you own. You got a nest egg or something. You just want that to go to whoever. They go to my aunt or such and such. Or you may somebody you met, your girlfriend or whoever that ain't on paper for you, but you want to make sure they get what you got. Especially if they ain't an heir or they not on paper, you better start putting them on paper. Oh yeah, that's my girlfriend, or that's my homeboy. I mean, we've known each other for years. That's the only person I trust with my shit. Well, you better make sure you got something ready written down. Because they'll walk up in there and them courts be like, well, who are you? Well, I was you got a ring? Or are you his blood? Something? Who are you now? Because it says he got a cousin in Wisconsin that this stuff is supposed to go to now. Ah, really? Yeah. So This is the time, man. We're going to learn from Prince one way or the other. Going to learn today. No, we don't want to talk about it, but shit, man. Shit is for real, man. It's not a good look. But I said I was done talking about that kind of shit. Y'all don't. Where the party man? All right, we're going to switch it up, man. Switch it up. Ranting and raving. The parade. Oh, no. Before we get to the parade album, this is a thing that's going on now, which I think is really cool. I haven't personally gotten a chance to really watch any of these yet, but I love the idea. And there's one that's coming up that I try and find a way to watch, the Teddy Riley, I hate to say versus, but Teddy Riley versus Babyface. It's these IG sort of fun battles where artists or producers or whatever, DJs, they're playing their songs back and back, sort of trying to one up each other. Oh, you got that? Okay, what about this? I think that is one of the coolest things that has come out of the stay-at-home quarantine type situation. Let me say this too. This is one thing I love about creatives and artists, and particularly, our people, man. Especially like hip hop generation, we're gonna find a way. You're not gonna stop. We're gonna do our shit. You say we can't go out to the club? Oh, nigga say, I'm gonna play the club at the crib and stream this shit. We gonna, shout out to D Nice, man. He's kind of one of the people who really, not the first to do it, but did it on such a huge level that we all paid attention. And now that's everyone. Oh, okay, let's do a beat battle. Let's do it. And so I think it's great. And it just shows the creativity that we're going to celebrate. We're going to do our shit. It don't matter what comes up in life. We're going to do our shit. And that's why I love this. So in the spirit of these, sort of IG battles, this back and forth, we wanted to talk about, I know Aunt Pooh brought this up, and what if, and it's like this is an age-old thing, but what if it was MJ and Prince? Now, first I want to ask this. Would they even do this? And Pooh first, like would you think that even Prince and Michael Jackson would even participate in something like this?
I think that MJ absolutely would. I think he was very competitive. And I think he would have wanted that opportunity to be like, all right, people have been putting us against each other for 40 years. And low key, you've been sneak dissing me and had this beef with me. Let's finally do this. My opinion, I think Prince would have been like, okay, what's the bag?
Oh, yeah.
And then second,
who's getting paid off of this stream? That's right.
Like, what's the bag? And then secondly, I don't know if part of me thinks because of the situation, he probably say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna put everything aside. Let's give the people what they want. But then there's that 30% that's like, do I really want the smoke? Do I really want to have people, saying that, oh, that was Beat It was better than Little Red Corvette? Or if I play Purple Rain, he played Man in the Mirror and everybody's hype. So I ultimately think he'll just do it just for the spirit, the fun. We're in this situation, but there's that 30% that says no because it's MJ.
I personally think either one of them would do it, especially not in a where it would be some versus type of thing. I do think that Prince has a very competitive spirit. I think he would do it by himself because I think to me, like the sampling portion that he was doing in his later concerts was exactly that. Like, I got more hits, y'all, and he just played. I mean, he was kind of doing that, but I don't think he would do it directly at somebody like that per se. But again, would I want to see something like that in pure fun? I would definitely love to see it. Big Sexy, what do you think?
I don't know. Prince was very competitive. I'm recalling a bootleg. God,
they're wrong.
That's not funny.
It's not actually.
Recalling a bootleg where he's talking at, I think it's at Paisley, and he heard that the blues guitarist, I think his name was Johnny Lang, was in the house.
Mm-hmm.
He called them out. Johnny didn't want none. Called up Paul Peterson.
Right.
Paul, you in house? Come on up here.
Punk of the month.
Punk of the month. He'd call up Mike. Mike would come up, and then they'd figure it out. I think Prince probably still had a little resentment back from that whole '83 thing on stage with James Brown.
I was about to say that was the first kind of, if you want to say that was the battle.
And then you look at Prince at 2004, where you, me, and Ant knew what was going on. A lot of these rock cats at the Hall of Fame, they had no idea. Prince was like, let me show you what time it is. He walked in there and took over the entire night. Period. So he would probably looking to do that type of impact on somebody again. And Mike had better come correct because Prince would have taken it over. I would have liked to have seen it, but again, who's getting paid? Who owns the rights to it? Where's it going to happen? Is it truly Mike versus Prince? Or is it Mike and his team against Prince? We don't know.
I think that, in my opinion, I think there's only two people unquestionable that I think Prince would probably say, yeah, let's do this off the top. I could be foolish saying it, but I really think that he, just the respect that he has for him, if somebody said, hey, do these two people, Prince would be like, okay, yeah, I'm there. I think he would do it with Stevie Wonder because in my opinion, they're not contemporaries. And he has a lot of respect, and it's a generation. And I think he would have fun. Like, oh, okay, you play Superstition? Okay, well, I got this. Oh, you gonna hit me with Maybe Your Baby? Oh, okay. Well, here's Forever in My Life. I don't know. I think he would enjoy that. And I think because he's still alive, he probably needs some help. I think he would do it with Sly.
The Sly is unpredictable at best.
I think he has so much admiration and respect for those two men. He would not ever do that. Nah.
No, but I think he wouldn't see it as a competitive thing. I think he was just see it as two friends just playing their music and chopping it up. I don't think it would be competitive.
I think he just wouldn't even if it wasn't competitive. Just, these are the cats that I base my shit on. The same way I seen him with Larry Graham, he would just not even. I defer to those brothers. I could see him say, that I'll shut up and let them do their thing. I just feel like, but again, I can see what you're saying too. And when I move forward a little bit, I would say, obviously Prince is very competitive and he did go at people, he did challenge in a competitive, fun way. Again, I seen him do a fun gig, not even a dig to Mike. He actually gave it up to Mike. But he was like, he had to put his spin on it. He was like, you like Billie Jean. But watch, if you had a real band play, it'd be the shit. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom, and then went into it. It was this fun type of shit, but I always thought those things were sort of more behind the scenes or done in a way where it wasn't the mainstream type thing. Like, it's one thing to be at First Avenue on a test show at a small audience going in on St. Paul. But I would wonder if he would do it like on the Grammys or something. You know what I mean? Like on a big, even like he was going at Morris Day sometimes. Chop down that oak tree. I mean, that was a young Prince too. So again, and the older Prince, I don't think he would even did that. But let's just say they did do it, right? And for whatever reasons, they decided to do it. Maybe they did it for charity or something. Who do you? This may be a biased question, but Big Sexy, if it was just purely playing the songs. Now, I don't know how these things are judged, because I have yet to really see one. How they judge who wins, or are there winners? I don't even think they concede to each other. They're just having fun doing it. But how would you think it would play out, Big Sexy?
Well, first thing depends on your audience. That's got to have a lot to do with it. And again, are you just playing samples from already recorded songs, or are they there?
No, they play the songs. I think they just play the real songs.
Playing the songs.
Yeah, because there's a lot on IG.
With MJ, are we just talking his solo catalog? Or are we talking the Jacksons? And are we talking Jackson 5? If we're talking all
let's just
that,
say anything he sings on.
Prince is my dog, but I don't know about that one. Because Mike can reach way back in the time machine and handle business. So as much as I hate to give it up, if you're looking at the entire MJ output and the long-term, cultural effect he's had since being 8 years old, I got to go with Mike.
I almost think it might be, and you can take this how you want, it almost unfair in a sense because Michael Jackson was already a legend by the time Prince started.
Yes.
Now, if you want to be real, he was Motown. He came from that. I mean, like, and we've heard it on the show. Prince was looking up to Mike, Jackson 5 and all that. He was trying to get in the game. He was already established, doing shit, had hits, da-da-da-da. So I don't know. In some degree, I think a lot of times we just tend to think of the 80s stuff. But of course, Mike was around way before that. I personally think all of their music, both of these guys' music, though, are cultural signposts, impactful, and pushed the world forward in major ways. I think it all comes down to what things do you value more, the individual person. Like, oh, well, do I value he's a musician, this guy isn't, well, then of course he wins that. Or do I value this guy's singing or his impact, and then I value that? Or do you value sales? Or, what I mean? There's so many variations on it.
And what I say is, and this is not a knock on Prince, not a knock on either one. Michael was very strategic. He was recording 100 albums. I mean, not albums, 100 songs per album, and then he was strategically finding like the best 12 because then he was looking at, I'm going to put out 5 or 6 or 7, not just singles, but number 1 singles.
But see, again though, with Mike,
and that's different from Prince.
But with Mike, in order to do that, which was strategic and was very, businesslike and great. But Mike had a team bring those songs to him. When you got with Quincy, you got with the Quincy Machine, Rod Temperton, Carol Bayer Sager, all these songwriters would bring things in. Prince is a one-man show.
Right. And for better or worse.
Yeah. Now, I don't think the comparison here, because Mike, you said something that got me thinking about it. I don't think it's Prince and MJ. I'm thinking Stevie and MJ, because Stevie started out really young as well.
Mm-hmm. I can see that actually. Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, I got to go with Stevie, because and the thing, and again, you can look at it deeper. If you look at Mike's peak output from, say, off the wall to Dangerous, damn. But you look at Stevie, early 70s, talking book to Songs of the Key of Life. Damn. How do you measure those two?
Now, would it be interesting? And hey, this might be unfair, but it could be kind of interesting when you look at the catalogs and what songs get selected. MJ versus Janet.
She played.
You want Quincy work with Jimmy and Terry?
Janet would get blown out the water. Stop it.
Oh, come on.
What are they going to play? Dream Street?
Come give your love to me. No.
Come on, man.
Okay, we're not going to act like Control, Rhythm Nation, and Janet didn't exist. Come on, man.
They did, but I mean, that to me, they're the equivalent of, they're not even the equivalent. Off the Wall slammed both of them records. All 3 of them records.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Off the Wall.
Yeah, go ahead and shit on me. I prefer Rhythm Nation over that. That's one of the story.
Record, but Off the Wall, greatest R&B.
All right, I'll pull that one out. Pause.
But I mean, really, the MJ versus Stevie, that would be very interesting, actually, because
that's the one.
I think they both have their periods where they're golden. But I would say, I'm just off the top of my head, MJ could pull a longer. He can keep going years even after his so-called prime, where he still had some joints. That was just, Like to me, like Butterflies, I don't know any current Stevie material that we would all know that was like, oh shit. You know, to me, the last thing that I paid attention with Stevie for me personally was Jungle Fever. After that, I didn't hear anything.
I would. What do you think, MJ versus Babyface? Because he has because to me, because people are saying Babyface versus Ted, and all respect to Babyface. Babyface has some number ones, has some great songwriting, but I'm just like, Teddy, that could be a route. But I think versus MJ, the music is a little bit more comparable. Where you can be like, oh, okay, Babyface, he dropped something that Mike could go at Billie Jean.
Yeah, but that's just one thing. I mean,
yeah,
what has he got to go against all the other songs?
Yeah.
I know, to me, Babyface I see as a producer, songwriter dude, dope as hell. I don't think I would put him against the MJ. And I almost say you take MJ out of he's such an outliner. He's like James Brown or something. You can't really put nobody against him. Like they own. Same with Prince to the same degree. There's nobody that has what he's got what he has. So it just doesn't really fit. I think it is more easier to look at a Teddy versus a Babyface. They're contemporaries, or I would say Babyface versus Usher or something. You know what I mean? Or Jammin' Lewis. You know, but again, Babyface is in a particular position because he is also a singer, artist himself, and he is a super producer. Where Jammin' Lewis are just super producers.
Well, I mean, because all they would do is just play the songs they did, which is kind of like what Scott Storch and Manny Fresh did.
Right, they're both super producers. Neither one of those are artists on their own.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So at some point, it becomes unfair because then they're gonna be like, "Well, where's your songs that you sang on?"
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you haven't seen it, people aren't really going on that at all. They're just looking at the beats and the jams. And
sure.
Like I've seen actually people put together scorecards where the songs that they went at and marking which one was better. I'm telling you, if you can find it, go look at the Manny Fresh Scott Storch battle. Scott Storch, which
Scott
people
Storch
got
on
up.
paper would torch Manny Fresh. I'm sorry.
No.
Please.
No. He didn't. He did not. He did not. One, he got called out on. It's like, yeah, you played the songs that you quote unquote produced, but nah, nigga, you played the pianos on that shit. Stop it. You didn't produce it. And then it's like when you listen to what Scott put out, and then you hear Manny stuff. Manny, to me and to a whole lot of people, everybody's like, no, Manny won that. You just hear it.
I don't see.
And then on top of that, Scott has nothing that touches back that ass up. He has nothing.
Still Dre?
No. Respect to it, but no.
I guess.
Hey,
I don't know. To me, I think they're both. I just, from what I remember of Scott Storch, his shit is he got mad hits, man, and his shit crosses all these different types of genres. And that's my lack of knowledge of Manny Fresh. I just see him as a purely hip hop producer. I don't know if he did R&B type stuff or club stuff, but I don't know. Scott Storch a bad motherfucker, man.
And I know you clown me again, but whatever. I said that the one people want to see is Dre versus Kanye or Dre versus Pharrell. I'm not a Kanye person, but I kind of do want to see it because I want Kanye to get his ass handed to him.
Yeah. And again, as far as I know, these aren't that type of battles. Like, they're not. I think the only one I've seen clips of that they look like they went the wrong way was it Neo? I could have sworn I saw these two artists and they were just going in on each other, and it got ugly. It was an R&B artist, wasn't? I have to look it up. And they were going at each other in the songs, like, "Oh, your shit ain't real shit, nigga." I can't think of who it was. They were not top line artists. Didn't Neo?
Jonta Austin, is that the one? R&B songwriter battle. Jonta Austin. I'm not sure who he is. Neo.
Maybe that was the one. It seemed like it was talking kind of crazy. Like, it wasn't really in the spirit of fun. They started getting into some, like, come on, y'all, stop it. But hey, a song battle with Prince. Or who else? I don't even want to focus on Prince. So just to think again, who else would I love to see do something like this?
Whitney and Mariah.
That could be fun. I don't know both of their stuff that well, but that would be interesting. It's people that I would see. Here's actually I would love to see Babyface go against. Babyface and Raphael Sadiq. I think it would be educational because people sleep on Raphael, but when you stack them songs, you're like, he wrote that one, God damn. Same with Teddy Riley. There's a lot of people that don't know the full extent of Teddy Riley. They just think of the New Jack Swing, but that motherfucker, as I've said many times, he is the man. He is the culture. He done sculpted hip hop production and R&B and worked with all the greats. Anybody that can pull. I got Michael Jackson, I got Prince, Dougie, Big Daddy Kane, Bobby Brown, Keith Sweat.
And then he gets to his own stuff.
Yeah, Blackstreet. All this shit.
Rex to the Effect.
Yeah, dude, he's out. James Ingram, across the board. He that nigga. So, and he got bangers from beyond bangers. Come on, man. That's why I said, I don't know, baby.
Yeah, I said the same thing. when I looked at Babyface tracks, I'm like, they're all ballads and this is good stuff. But then I looked at Teddy Riley, I was like, oh, this could get bad.
Well, see, the thing with Teddy, which is what Anthony brought out in his post yesterday, because when I first heard of this, I'm like, oh man, Teddy, don't even try it. Then Ant's like, I don't know. And he starts listing different acts that he's worked with. Like, for instance, I didn't know for years that the show was his. I had no clue.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Whereas with Babyface,
that's going to blow people's mind when he plays that one. Well, some people's mind, I should say.
It's not a diss on Babyface at all. But when you hear a Babyface production, you hear Babyface. Because I think of the song he did with Eric Clapton. That sounds like a Babyface song. Whereas with Teddy, the show sounds nothing like Rump Shaker, which sounds nothing like Let's Chill, which sounds nothing like Remember the Time. So I got to go with Teddy on that.
I kind of got to give you some pushback because you got to remember Waiting to Excel soundtrack. That to me is his masterpiece. He had 9 different artists and very distinct styles, and each song, in my opinion, was very different and true to those artists.
Yeah, who's on that soundtrack besides Whitney?
You got Aretha Franklin with How Come It Hurts So Bad. You got Mary J. Blige with Not Gonna Cry, which was the woman's anthem of the 90s. You got Sitting Up in the Room with Brandy. You got another Tony Braxton. I can't think of the name of it, but you got another Tony Braxton song, a TLC song, and a Faith Evans one, Kissing You, which was an underrated hit there.
I've not listened to that soundtrack in a minute.
Dude,
but I'll say
listen
this
to
about,
it. It's a masterpiece.
I'll say this about a lot of the Babyface stuff. You can tell a Babyface song by the way he produces and shapes his choruses. That's the giveaway. I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch, but you can tell the way he does it. That's a Babyface song.
They have both distinctive type of styles that evolve.
Yeah.
But one of the things I always looked at, and I say the impact, because Teddy, he made everybody want to sound like him. His production style, his production style became the sound. Like, your records had to have that Teddy style. When you can have Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis mimic your shit, and then everybody else following suit, they got to have that New Jack Swing sound. That's, to me, that's I'm saying culturally, that dude, he shaped the shit. I don't know if Babyface, where people wanted to sound like a Babyface record so much, but you definitely remember New Jack Swing was the thing. Like, all records had to sound like that, and you wasn't going to chart. They had records that had fake Teddy sound effects in the song where you thought that he produced it because somebody said, yep, and then the fake, yep. I was like, did that Teddy? He didn't even do that one.
Yep.
You had motherfucker, my guys I really like, DJ Eddie F. whole style, just to sound like Teddy. I mean, with the what's that TV show, Living Single, the theme song, Heavy D shit. That was shit's made to sound like some Teddy shit. The songs of Eddie F, that was his whole style.
But you got to remember, Babyface, he did a lot of Boys to Men, End of the Road. I think I'll Make Love to You.
Yeah, big joint, big.
Don't Be Cruel. That's gonna be one he gonna pull out.
But then then they're gonna pull right out My Prerogative. It's like, sit down.
See, I got beef with Boys to Men though, because I saw that clip. What was that guy's name? Oh, jeez, it drives me crazy. Young producer cat.
Are you talking about Dallas Austin?
Yes. See, I got beef with Boys to Men behind that. They're trying to clown Babyface. Like, man, you better shut up and take this song. Shit.
Yeah, but all these dudes are super dope, man. Like,
speaking of Dallas Austin, he slept on too. I'd love to see him against one of the producers, maybe even against JD. That would be kind of nice.
That would be. And they have their own label together now.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and what's really great about this, to your point that you spoke earlier, is that people are rediscovering the music, or it's being exposed to people for the first time.
Yeah, it's a new I mean, to me, like I go back to D Nice. I really just know D Nice from. They call me D Nice. It's not
Wait, that's the same dude?
Yeah, man. How many other D Nices they gonna be? Goddamn.
I mean, we got two Nas's now, so come on.
Stop. No, they don't.
I'm just saying.
No, they don't.
Stop. I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's how. So I always knew D Nice is BDP to me, like Boogie Down Production. So the fact that he is a celebrity DJ and then he does this and he has all the attention in 2020, that is just dope to me. Like, dude, still moving forward the culture, man. He's always been in the game. And so, yeah, it's great opportunities, man. People are doing the shit that they normally do, and just ain't stopping. It doesn't matter if there's a quarantine or there's going to be a way to get our shit off. So salute to the people, man. And I love that. Yeah, Teddy. Now Teddy has an opportunity because to me, he's been very underrated in the last few years. You don't really, to me, he should be just as much shine as any of these other artists and to shape the culture. So that's his opportunity for him and Babyface to be on Front Street. Everybody want to watch. It's a captive audience type of thing. This is great, man.
Okay,
great.
Here's my wretched moment of the show. I got to give him props. He married fine ass Melinda Williams in 2008.
Yes, he did. Yes,
go ahead.
D Nice.
Go ahead. That was nice, all right.
Yeah. Now to keep it all the way ratchet, and we are so far away from Prince right now, but where do I see this going if this thing continues on? And we already kind of see this anyway. Shout out to Bootsy. Boozy, whatever. But they'll have the twerk it offs battle, twerk battle. That's where it's going. How many? I don't know who you're gonna get. It's like Superhead versus
Britney Renner.
Twerk actually, so that would be I don't know. You're gonna get some of these big booty. You get some of these chicks. They're gonna have the twerk offs. Then when it gets really down to the desperate, they'll have the blow offs and the how many did you smash offs. That's when you get lower tier. But
sex workers are struggling right now, so they're gonna find a way.
Yeah, that's where it's going to have the. And I say actually, you know what? It'll be fun in the pure funness of it. This is such a great opportunity. They should have the actor version. Like, I would love to see like Lorenz Tate and like, I don't know, Tay Diggs. Nigga, let's get Denzel on there. Just to have him on there. Just to, against somebody else. It would be just dope. Like, let's list off all the movies. Let's get the director popping. Spike would be down. Because Spike.
Yeah. And Spike versus Tyler Perry.
That would be dope. They could do it in spirit of fun. and be like, I dropped it. Oh, when I came out, oh, okay, yeah. I just think that would be so fly. To me, it's just a way to celebrate the culture. It's to celebrate both involved and the works that they've done, and be like, yo, we're clapping for you right now. You here? We're clapping for you. Did that? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, remember this? Yeah. So I just think it would be dope if we extended it out, man, because a lot of these cats have been putting in a lot of work. I would love to get a Nia Long up there with the Vivica. So, just something, not even about blowing each other out, but just to be able to make a list all of the achievements and show clips or something and be like, oh, remember that scene? Yeah. Oh, shit, that was dope. Or you get Spike and you get like somebody who could stand in for John Singleton, man. That would be so fly. Like, yo, remember? Get Ice Cube up there, right?
Yeah.
That would be tight.
Yeah, you stole my thunder because I was thinking like Ice Cube would be dope. And I'm like, okay, when do you think the Raps Off is going to happen? Can you imagine Jay-Z and Cube going at it, or Jay-Z and Rakim?
Big Daddy Kane and Rakim.
Oh, yeah, we could do the 2020 rap battles.
So cold. They should do that, man. And just in the spirit of, get your bars up. It ain't about, talking shit. That's why, the rap, I wouldn't want it to be like the rap battles they have. Nigga, when I see your mom, I'm busting in the face, and I get my pull a shotgun out and blast your head. Nigga, let me catch you on the street, nigga. Stop, y'all. That's just too violent and this degradation. Oh, just straight bars. Just for the spirit of the culture, not like we slamming each other. That's why his voice may not be there, but nigga, get DOC up there. Because he got so many raps and all the big songs that that you didn't think he wrote. And that's why I was, the other night, man, I was listening to some MC Breed. For y'all who remember that, who that is.
Ain't no future in the front. In your front.
In his second album, he got DOC to write all his shit and to help him produce it. And you listen to it, it sounds exact. It was right after the Chronic came out, so it has that production style. But his raps sound just like Dre and Snoop and all that, but then when you really listen to it, they sound just like DOC because that's the DOC style. Like he wrote all those songs. So I was listening to it, I was like, damn, no wonder I really like this shit. This nigga wrote all this. It's just the exact same style. I think that album fully, and then the album that came after that, DOC wrote some of the songs on that as well. But you go back and look at everything that he's done, all that shit on the Chronic, Doggy Style. That motherfucker he is the fucking pen of all of that shit, man. Like, he's dope.
Y'all can go ahead and clown me for this, but speaking of people that you didn't know was writing stuff, Jay-Z, that dude. Yeah. I was listening to Foxy Brown's album, and she said a line that I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like Jay-Z. That sounds like some shit Jay-Z would say. And then my ass went to Wikipedia and there's Carter. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that man is good because that damn sure seemed authentic to her.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, dude, these are super talented dudes, man, and was talented enough to be able to. I always felt like it would be so intimidating to rap somebody else's shit in their style, but you got to give it up to the person rapping too to be able to mimic a flow of a, super talented type of rap. Like Jay-Z say, he'll rap this. Huh? Okay. Like it's just saying with Dre or something. Like, we know Dre didn't write that shit, but I'd give Dre credit. Like, that motherfucker make you think he wrote that. I mean, he could rap that shit. He rapping Cube shit and all this. Even Easy-E is like, damn, he probably can't rap for shit. But he rapped, they was able to tweak it good enough where he was like, damn, you thought he was better than them niggas. And they the one wrote it. He was more popular than they were. But anyway, we're going way out.
So what you're telling me is you have a little bit of respect for Cardi now, right?
For who?
Cardi B, right?
Why would I have respect for Cardi B? Jay wrote her rhymes? No, I don't understand.
No, I was just saying, you said people being able to because you said she don't even knocking her for not writing her own stuff.
No, I'm saying because she was working with a super talented rapper who would be intimidated to try and rap like that person. I don't know who she's trying to rap like, but they can keep that shit far enough. But hey, I'm not speaking on her music because I don't know her music. I ain't never really heard it like that. I just talk about her antics. But
I thought I had a win there.
That's all right. But anyway, yeah, man, getting the battles are very nice. We were talking about producing. I mean, it's the same way like with Prince. I mean, obviously, when you listen to Prince records, you know, like in the 80s and stuff, they was Prince records. They just had to get somebody else to sing over it. But I wasn't really into Prince at that time when the time was, you know, the second album was out and all that. I would have had no idea. I would have never thought that they sounded like Prince records. That's me. Maybe there was some who did and could see, oh yeah, that. But I mean, he did the way he does stuff, I guess, is the way all of them do. Like, here, listen to this, learn it, and you're gonna sing it. You're just gonna sing it the way I do it. I think it becomes more apparent with Prince. Like, I think when the Family record came out, it was more like, okay. In my mind, I thought, man, they're trying to sound like Prince, not really knowing the connection. But I always thought, man, they're trying to sound like Prince too much. But obviously, they ain't trying to. They is sounding like Prince. That's his shit. Like, they're forced to do it that way. I used to say that sometimes with Sheila. I was like, man, she really, she thinks she Prince. But now I understand, like, yeah, he was dictating every goddamn nook and cranny, dance, movement, everything, you know. So.
Yeah, I swore up and down that when I heard Love Bizarre, I swore up and down that was Prince. And then I saw Crush Groove and that white dude was singing his part. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
Now, if it was if it was in the 2000s, I could have easily have seen Prince say, I'm gonna get that. Let me get that Justin Timberlake check and get that white dude that was on the Crush Groove thing and just have him do a whole album. And it'd be like, I guess that's what the Family might have been in some sense with St. Paul, but I could easily see that being the push. Like, I'll sing, I'll make these songs. I'm gonna give him the songs I would have done and just have him re-sing. And on one hand, that's just to go back to the Family again. I can see the reasoning behind that. I just think it came at a time when it was almost too much Prince out there. Like that whole sound, everybody was doing it. So it was just like, this is just another record that sounds like it's on that Prince style. And you not knowing that he really is associated with that group. So you just think it's almost like a knockoff in a way. Because listening to that record, that shit was dope as hell. But I'm speaking on myself. I didn't really know. I mean, I knew it was on Paisley Park, but I wouldn't have known that he wrote all those songs and like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know it was that deep of a connection. I just thought, oh, these are more funky ass people from Minneapolis and Prince putting them on. But if I would have knew, this shit is written and produced by Prince, I would have I think more people would have been more geeked, like pay more attention to it. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
That's a good point. I don't know, because I think like back then, unfortunately, my whole thing was the artists that were being showcased on MTV, American Top 40, Friday Night Video. So I didn't care about finding those associated acts, so to speak. It wouldn't have had any effect on me.
Mm.
It would have for me, because I remember when Sheena Easton came out with Sugar Walls, I didn't know, factually that it was Prince, but there was something like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. And then back in the day, I was all about reading liner notes, so I went out and got the 12-inch. I'm looking for his name, not seeing it. And then wait a minute, let me look a little deeper. Alexander Nevermind. Okay. Same thing with the Bengals. Okay, Joey Coco, Christopher.
See, I think those songs were known to be Prince songs at that time, even though those names were pseudonyms.
Bengals was, but I don't think Sheena Easton was.
I knew that. I'm pretty sure that was the word that was a Prince song, and everyone knew, yeah, that's the name he's using. This is not some dude you ain't never heard of who just dropped a banger. So I remember that's why I paid attention to that song, because I probably would have never been up on it. But I get what you're saying, but I think those two were known That's my point. I'm saying, like, if you knew he did those, you're going to get some attention as opposed to the stuff when he just sneaks it out and they don't reveal that that's his, if it just says just by the family, people are, okay, it sounds cool, but it's not Prince. So I'm not even going to bother looking at it. I think if it would have said if it would have billed that as produced by Prince, I think they would have been huge. Because it would have been people paying attention to it. Like, oh shit.
I remember when Madhouse came out, it was on Paisley. And everyone's like, man, the buzz was like, man, this is Prince. This is Prince. And I got it. I'm like, I don't hear Prince.
Right. Yeah, see, I didn't know he did that, but I just remember Mark Goodman. I saw the little report in the Week in Rock or the little news segment they would have between the videos. It's like, yeah, this new jazz thing from Paisley Park came out. I was like, oh shit, let me check that out. But if I would have known that was Prince, my head would have blew open. I mean, I thought the record was dope, but I would have never just thought in my mind, like, that's that nigga. Like, maybe he's playing on the guitar part or something. But it would have said, no, that's all him. I think that shit would have flew off the shelf.
And every time you mention Mark Goodman, I think of who.
Who is this?
Bowie.
Oh, that video.
Came in his interview and clowned him.
Bowie's the opposite of that scared straight chick with the head nod. He's just a stare down.
Yeah, Bowie just clowned that dude.
It's like, really?
Really, huh? Okay.
But anyway, yes. So, yeah. I mean, and I can understand why Prince is like, I want to separate these things. I don't want people to know this is me. I want them to judge it on their own so they could be, but the same way. Just think if you would have really, if the Time records said produced by Prince, would it have been a hindrance? Or would it have been like, this motherfucker is cold, but like he got his own shit, and then this nigga is a fucking jam master. How he produced these niggas? It would have made more. I could see how you would have probably been like, okay, but God damn. I wonder if it would have brought more attention though, or would it just made it more seem like, that's just Prince. I'm curious. I don't know what you guys think if it would have said produced by Prince.
I would have thought it one of those cases where a relatively new cat is out there trying to do too much. Trying to get his name out there on other people's stuff. Now, having said that, when I heard the song The Stick, I'm like, that's Prince. Because I could hear his vocal in the song.
You knew that back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But, again, you don't want to see one person's name over everything. I mean, I didn't. That would have turned me off.
Okay. See, I think, I wasn't even listening to The Stick back then when it came out, but like if 779-311 and it said produced by Prince, like it'll be one thing if it was the name all over the place, but it's another thing when they drop in heat. Like, shit is heat. Like, God, like, yeah, I wanted to not give him his props, but God damn, that's a bad motherfucker. Like, this nigga, he got 1999 out and he got this song out banging. Like, God damn. But, yeah. I mean, obviously we know it's Prince now, but I think that's why I feel like they should re-release those records. Like, those are bangers. Like, not necessarily they need a remaster, but even just a fresh coat of paint. I guess they did re-release Ice Cream Castles, right? Maybe they re-released. I just feel like they should give the same big push as all the other shit. Like, yo, the Time box set, you dig? Like, all in one, and then we putting, sideline tracks that they're not putting on the Prince stuff. Like, these niggas had heat. This was Prince, and we billing it as this was Prince. Time. But that way they don't have to sell off no assets. Let me stop. All right. I think I had something else. This is going to be a long show, but that's okay. That's okay. I think I heard that most of us got a lot of time to kill, so ain't got the not like my black guys. I'm going to work every day. I wish I could stay home, but that's another show. The Parade album. Parade album was released back in March 31st, 1986. Think back to where you were in 19. Where were you at 86, Ampu? Hello?
Did we lose him?
I guess so. Well, where were you at Big Six?
I was living in Sacramento in Sutter Hall, room 128. That was my first semester as a 20-year-old college freshman.
Damn, okay. He was in college back then. I was in Seattle. I must have been, all of 15, 14, 15? Living at home, going to middle school. So I was in middle school at the time. And that album, I don't even remember. I don't think I certainly didn't have the album like the day it came out or anything like that. I think I got it maybe a couple of weeks after that. And I distinctively remember my stepdad, he had tore out an article out of the paper, or some magazine or something. And I remember him giving it to me, and it was like, there was a review of the Parade album. And he knew I like Prince. He was like, oh, it's a new Prince thing. And I was like, oh, this is out. Obviously I knew Kiss at the time. And that's when I went to go buy it. And I was like, okay, let me go buy this. And I remember getting the record, if I remember correctly, it threw me for a loop initially. Because again, I'm coming off of really starting to dive into Prince. I think at this time I had Controversy. I went back and got Controversy, Dirty Mind, I believe. Actually, no, I don't know if I got Dirty Mind at this point yet. Can't remember. But, it had Purple Rain and Around the World in a Day and all those 12 inches at that time. And then the Kiss, I was like, wow, he's another jam. Kiss, Love or Money. And then when just dropping the needle when it first starts, I didn't know what to make. I was like, wow, this is some way out here shit. Like, you have to really sit down and listen to it. It wasn't like an easy, I know what this is. I didn't know what that was. He was using different sounds and stuff, and I just was blown away by it. And it's like, wow, you have to sit down and pay attention to this dude. He's not giving you all the stuff I heard before. He's not giving that to you. This on some other shit. And I was like, damn, this. And just looking at the pictures, I remember, you open up was it an open one? Or I remember that collage picture. I think that was on the sleeve. Yeah. I was just so fascinated the way he looked so different from how we had seen him before. I was like, wow, he looked like almost a different person or something. Like, this dude is fascinating. Like, the shit he has on is just like, whoa. I was blown away by it, man. It was a very interesting piece of work at the time. I just didn't know what to make of it. And then, of course, you see the movie. And I think the things that really stuck with me, though, were the premiere party on MTV, Sheridan, Wyoming thing.
Yeah.
And this was for me, it was the first time really seeing him, like, because I always just remember Prince from the Purple Rain premiere and the movie. He's a very sort of like serious, seemed like a very serious guy. And he didn't smile. But then when you saw him on that premiere party, when he's walking around and, I feel with my hands, Martha, and just smiling and goofing, I was like, is this the same? This dude is cool. Like, this dude is hilarious. Like, I was just like, wow. And then the performance at the end blew me away. I was like, God damn. I was like, this sounds it's the songs I've heard before, but they're done in a way I never would have. This shit is funky, and dude was like, his stage presence was just ridiculous. I was like, damn. I remember I taped it on VHS, and I would just watch it over and over. It's like, damn. And I was mad that it would cut off. I was like, he's about to get funky. They turn it off. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, man. What are your thoughts on the album now, though? Like, how do you look at Parade now? Ann, are you back?
Yes. Sorry. Yes, I am. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I was asking, what are your thoughts on the Parade album?
When I first heard it, I had like, of course, I was a single hoe. I'm gonna say it. When I say that, I mean like I only listen to the singles.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only ones. That's why I say I'm a hoe for the single.
Okay, I was like, man, is he was in some child enslavement, Thailand type shit? What the fuck?
No, so I listened to Girls and Boys, Kiss, and Mountains. I heard Another Lover Holding Your Hand on the album. That was the only one on the album that I really got into. But again, as I got older as I got older and started going back and listening to all these albums, tracking down all the singles, for me, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Prince Purple Army, Getting Your Feelings. For me, this is the most accessible and easiest to listen straight through album of Prince's album. I rate it number one sometimes over Sign of the Times and Purple Rain and 1999. Yeah, I do. Maybe it's because there's a lot of short songs. When you look at Christopher Tracy Parade, New Position, I Wonder You, Venus de Milo, Do You Lie, they're all under 3 minutes. So you get in, absorb it, move on to the next one. And for me, I can drop the needle on this or press play from Christopher Tracy's Parade, and I would sit there, I think it's about an hour and 10, hour and 20. Could be wrong on that, on my math there. And I'll listen to the whole thing straight through. It's just the easiest album, and it's just so much. You get something funky.
It's a 40-minute album.
Oh,
damn.
But that's interesting that you feel like you're in it for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that short?
Hey, it does what it needs to do, man.
Yeah. And the thing is that you go from up-tempo to ballads to rock. Well, you get one rocker, and then you get funky stuff. It's just so much different music there. That this, for me, I love this album. I always put it number one because it's just so fast and just engaging. Where I'm just listening all the way through. Back in the day, being that hoe for singles, I'd always say Kiss was the best song in the album. Now I go between Life Can Be So Nice, Another Lover Holding Your Head, and Sometimes It Snows in April.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, the songs on this album are phenomenal. The only bad thing, if I had to say anything bad about this album, I just wish that the songs weren't edited down. That's my only thing. Like, and I can understand why they did it, but to me, this is why I would love for this to be re-released and they do the album proper, but then also have the songs where it's the full song. Like those songs are, Mountains are ridiculous. Another Lover Holding Her Head. If there was one song they shouldn't have edited on the record, that would have been the one to me. Like that would have just been aside from Kiss, that would have been like that jam, like, which have been ridiculous. But other than that, I think to me this album that's interesting that you say this is most accessible. I don't see it that way, but to me this is the album where I think he was almost the most artistic, if I could say. Like I felt like he really just shot for the fences in a way, like, and was like, it's just I can say cinematic, but just the way that he's using the Claire Fisher strings for the first time, really going all in, and then even just the different drum sounds that he's using, and just some of the different stuff and the harmonies with the girls and different things. And the styles of the songs are so like different from at the time what I thought a Prince would be. Like he's stretching out. Do You Lie to me is one of his dopest songs to me. Like, and I could never, I still blows my mind. Like, damn, he created this shit. This shit is on some other shit, man. Like, in 86, Venus de Milo. I'm like, damn, this nigga got on his piano game. Like, this was early and he was on some other shit. Like, it's crazy to me. I was like, damn.
I could say that's too short.
It is. It is.
I can say it.
But he had other burners like that. What's the song that was the B-side to Mountains?
Alexa de Paris.
Yeah, man. Like, that's the shit he was on. To me, he was at a high level. That was really some Madhouse shit, but it was more like less jazz per se, but more on some like soundtrack. Like, he could have went a whole other direction with his shit if he wanted to, and still be the most funkiest cat in the game. You know, anybody can do a song like Another Lover, and then turn it around and be doing some Venus de Milo type shit. And Do You Lie? That motherfucker is on a high frequency. Like, his production was so crazy at that time. Think about it. This is the guy who gave you like 1999, DMSR, straight funk, you know, controversy. And now he's doing this. He would be so advanced, almost too far advanced, but it works. Like, it's ridiculous. That's why I think this is his most like creative, like, it's just nuts.
Since we're mentioning B-sides, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Love or Money. That was another one.
Yeah.
Like he said in concert, I just got hits. Man, it's just bad. Hits.
Yeah, man, super fucking creative, man. Like, New Position. I Wonder You. And of course, you know the story of him, you know, playing those first 3 songs. Start at the top and just playing the drums all the way through, and then come back and doing this part and that part. The only thing I would say, and a curious, just for my own sort of like, I love to hear the songs as they form themselves. I would love to hear these songs, and this is not said in a bad way, but without the Wendy and Susanna vocals, and it was just his vocals. I would love to hear the songs like that as well. And I would love to hear them if they just turned off the orchestra stuff, just to hear like the raw, like Prince tracks. It was just him and the music. Because I think sometimes I think some of the songs kind of some of the parts get drowned out because it's too much kind of going on. And I can hear like he's doing some shit. I can hear some of these songs was probably just straight like that Prince funk type stuff, and then they added all these other dope elements on top of it. But I'd just be curious to hear what they sounded like minus all of that. And it was just like when I hear a song like that song Teacher, Teacher, for example, the way I used to always hear that bootleg, and then to hear it how it sounded without all those other, you know, just the regular shit with Prince that just came out in 1999. That shit, I was like, damn. He was a bad man. He didn't need nobody. Like, I get why he put all that on top of it. He's up in his game, but his just pure shit is dope as fuck. Like, you don't need. I would love to just hear it just with his shit, but that would be the only thing I would love to hear. But yeah, man, Prince is a bad man. And I said this on the Discord. If you listen to Kiss with some headphones, like if you really. You can hear he's playing the chicken scratch guitar throughout the whole song, like in the verses. I don't know if it's bleeding through his headphones, if he's wearing headphones as he's doing his vocals, or if it's just bleeding through the tracks and it's not all the way muted out. I don't know what they were using, but you can hear the guitar in there. And then as it gets to the middle part of the song, when he starts playing, you know, the ping-a-ling, obviously they're turning those tracks back on, but it'd be interesting to hear that song with those, if they brought that up and let it play. I thought that was very interesting. And then the other thing I seemed to notice for myself, the song Under the Cherry Moon, I believe it is Prince, whether he's inspired or I don't think he's blatantly trying to do it, but that song to me is really his probably subconscious take of Sly and the Family Stone's. Man, I can't even think of the song now. The boom, 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 boom. What is it?
Sex Machine?
No, it's like a slow song. I can't think of the title. I gotta look it up. Sorry, folks. You're gonna have to.
You're looking up. Not. Bow, bow, bow.
No, it's like it's either on the Riot album or the album or the Stand album. What? Just Like a Baby. Go listen to the song "Just Like a Baby" by Sly, and listen to "Under the Cherry Moon." I could hear it being like, again, you have to really listen to the rhythm of it. And of course, in context, that song just Like a Baby was created way long time. So studio techniques are way different, and then the advancements in technology are way different. So Prince's sounds aren't going to sound exactly like that, but I can see how he's got that rhythm of it, and that would be like his version of, I want to do a song like that. The way they sang it, it really fit together. And I only say that because I can hear a lot of Sly stuff in Prince's music, the way he plays it, the way he sings, and the way he makes his voice sound is so reminiscent of Sly Stone. But I never really caught that before because I was listening to him back to back on an odd reason. And I was like, fuck, this. And knowing how Prince was so heavy in his life, you could really hear it. It was very interesting to me and fascinating, because I think Prince at his best is the guy that can take other shit and put it through his lens. And the way that it comes out when he does it is, it's like, whoa, this dude's like, he warps it into the most funkiest, way of doing it. It would be a way you would never think to do. Like, he's that guy that he don't think like nobody else. So he'll hear something, and the way he interprets it, it is so like, I was like, damn, okay. Nobody else would do some shit like that. And you freaked it. I think all of his shit is like that. No matter what the genre of music is, like, oh, okay. They doing disco or whatever. Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna do my shit version of it. Or you doing R&B? Yeah, you do Stevie? Watch how I do some Stevie shit, or or some Sly, or some Hendrix. So you like Hendrix? Watch. I think you can look at a lot of his shit. It was through his lens. He just took other shit and reshaped it and freaked it. Sign of Times album. That's all Sly to me. Like, the whole fucking thing. It's like, oh, let me do my version of this. Let me show you how we really get down. Some of it you can say is spot on. Some of it is sneaky, a sneak way of doing it. But he does his shit in the most beautifulest way. Anyway, Parade. Does Parade stand the test of time? Ooh, hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah, it does. Even the concerts, man.
I was just about to say that. Stole my thunder, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, if you're looking for the long form versions of those songs that we like to hear perfectly mastered in our headphones and that proper album release, then go track down the Stockholm, the Paris, the Detroit Birthday Show, and the Yokohama show, which in my opinion has the best live performance of Purple Rain ever. I know that's not Parade, but I'm just letting you guys know that. Those shows are amazing. And when he lets Life Can Be So Nice ride out, and New Position, it's just fucking amazing.
Yeah, man. That Prince live at that period is it's like a whole new thing. You know, like it's a different look. The band is expanded. He added Wally and all those guys. And just the presentation of it is so different from the Purple Rain tour and look. Like, you know, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, when you look at the confidence of Prince versus his stage presence in the Purple Rain, which was spectacular, but this is to me where I think he just he mastered it. Like the confidence was just exuberantly just overflowing, and like he knew the band was the shit, and he knew everything. And to me, it was like this is where he knew he was the shit. It was like, yeah, I conquered the world, Purple Rain, and I just came out, boom. But here's like, now I got money. You dig what I'm saying? Like, okay, now I'm rich as fuck. I'm funky as fuck. And ain't nobody else can fuck with me. Watch what I do. That's to me, it's like, so when you just saw him visually, that's the nigga when you saw, I wish somebody would do this meme where it's like, before you got that job, and then after when you got rich, like you're gonna look at him and like, okay, my man, he came into some money. He cut his hair, all new clothes, tricked out, shit that you couldn't get nowhere. And, you know, wearing the most outlandish, you know, showing more of his body. When a nigga showing his midriff, and he, you know, flares, I was like, that nigga's false. He on some others, you know, he got new money. The crew is expanding. He got his boys with him, right? They out there with him. I was like, okay, he's on some other shit, but in a great way. Like, as I say, if you look at him visually, how he looked in Purple Rain, and then look at how he looked now as Christopher. He's another nigga. He's Christopher Tracy. He ain't even Prince. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's almost like presenting himself as a whole new person. This nigga smiling. You just show me how many Purple Rain pictures where he's got his teeth all out, cheese and Kool-Aid smiling. Except for if he's in tours on concert, but none of the promo pictures, nigga was mad serious. Like, you know, he was on some gangster shit. He was mad, you know, but this nigga cheesing and all kind of, you know, he's having a ball. So it's just so great to see. And that's why I think for a lot of people, that's their favorite time. Cause it's like, dude was like on some happy type. It was the shit, man. And then also, again, because he got more money, he going at niggas. Like, he confidently getting at niggas. You know, salute to my guy, St. Paul, talk all the time, but he got at St. Paul. Yeah, he was like, I'm going at this. He low key going at Morris and them too. Like, you know, so it was just like a very, well, not low key, he did go at, he was directly at Morris on stage. You know, choppy. Oh, he got a hit song? Yeah, nah, we chop that shit down, make another dance on that. You know, so he was on his other shit, but it was beautiful because he brought a whole different presentation to it. And you, like I said, that confidence where I think he really became, he's like, I'm gonna be on some show, I'm gonna be that, basically on that R&B showman review type shit. We wearing suits. I'm not dressing, you know what I mean? Like for him to come off all that and say, yo, we going with the suit look, you know, we on some, you know, on some high fashion nouveau, you know, Wendy, you gonna wear this, you gonna wear that, you know, we gonna be suited and booted up here. That was a bold move, and it works. I wish the movie was more well received, but shit, he was on some other shit. It's beautiful, man. I was like, damn, Christopher Tracy, I'm gonna be that player. He became a player. Like, I'm gonna be a player. I'm gonna show Morris. I'm gonna do this shit like Morris, and this is how you do it, Morris. That's what he basically became. He's like, fuck, I'm gonna be on some, yeah. Jerome, I got 3 niggas up here. Like, I would have wondered, if they would have advanced to be on some shit like that, if they would have stuck around and he would have had to be somebody else? Because they couldn't be two Morrises. You couldn't have had Morris Day and Christopher Tracy. That would have been too much pimping. But imagine if that what if Morris was still in the, I think we did a whole show about it. But the other, what if he didn't leave? Like, then it was like, okay, well, shit, you're going to be Morris. You got more money, so you're going to have to be on some next shit. I can't be the pimp dude too, but maybe we just team up. The Christopher Tracy Morris out. No, I know they would never do that, but that would be a cold. Then it would have really been two niggas, and it wouldn't have been Tricky. It would have been Morris and Prince. In the words of my man, was it Dollar Bill from Players Club? I just watched it on Netflix. Christopher Tracy and Morris and Prince going after these white bitches. I know. I'm just talking shit. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's all jokes. But that would have been hilarious. I don't know I think they would cancel each other out. That'd be a little too much. The sympathetic simp player, Christopher Tracy. That's right. And then just the Gorilla Mac, Morris Day. Like Tricky, because Tricky was not a simp. Tricky was about, yo, you tripping. Nigga, you falling in love. We out here
supposed to love these hoes?
Yeah, we out here to get bread, Chris. You out here fucking falling in love with these hoes. Man. Come on now. You got the game fucked up. Christopher Tracy was all he was simping, man. He was hardcore, but then she put it on him. I guess she put it on him. This nigga fell in love. And then, White Daddy wasn't having it. He already knew that. Because he was antagonizing him. But then he stole his daughter. He was trying to get the bag. Then against better judgment, he got killed. See? Tricky was like, no, you wrong. What he says.
Wow.
No, Chris. I got waylaid.
No, you got laid.
You said it before. You said, what do you say, leader? You handle the money and leave draws to me. She had that backwards. But yeah, man, Christopher Tracy was a cold piece until he got caught up. But yeah, he was doing his thing out there. And he knew he was the shit. You had the scene where he got out them niggas had caddies, and just think about it, these niggas was rolling around. Was that a Cadillac Thunderbird in France, nigga?
That was a Delta 88.
Yeah, what? Why they bring that out there? They was stupid for that. They was out there acting a fool. Then they ain't gonna pay their rent. Please. Had the white girl all twisted up. They wasn't even paying rent. Paying it dick. That was true. That was tricky. Go ahead.
Some would say they was hustling.
Oh no, they were. That's what I'm saying. They were. Okay. Christopher Tracy was a cold piece of work until he got caught up. But Tricky stayed to the game. Tricky was to the game first, brag first, and that's why all the scenes you see with Tricky, he was going around. He was always trying to holler at the chicks and stuff. That was all when they was at the little club. What was that? There was a dude. He had 2 chicks or something. Remember that one dude? He had them 2 chicks with him. There was a lot of players around that little area they was at that had money. And it was really, yeah, but Tricky was always, he was like, how you doing? I'm doing cool. How you doing? Counting. They was counting the shit. Shh. Yeah. So we out here getting it back, Trick. Come on, Chris. Did they ever say where they were from? Like Detroit or something?
I'm thinking in Miami. Weren't they trying to get back to Miami?
Oh, that's right. They was from Miami. They was Miami niggas.
And those ratchetest trash ones, in my opinion.
Well, you can see that in Tricky because Tricky was he was a wild boy because he had, I don't know if he was raised by, I'm not, y'all know I'm joking, raised by a single mother or something. Because he would kind of jump in and out of doing some like, you know, more flamboyant type of talk. I don't know if that was a little joke between them or something, but he was a wild boy. But salute to Tricky, man. He was a player in the game. He's to the end, even if his boy went off script. You know. Anyway. Now I gotta watch that movie again and really analyze the moves that they was making. What my man say? They got thrown out the party. He's like, "Hey, how much money you making?" That was stupid. But damn, you wear some cologne. That's a funny movie, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the third act kind of slows down a tad bit, but that first 2/3, hilarious.
Yeah, it's some funny shit. And then when they go to the house trying to smash late at night, I was like, what was he doing? I have to remember, it was going up there to smash on the white lady or something?
Like, I'm sorry, where was this?
Remember when they got the ladder and they were sneaking up into the room?
Oh, I think he got set up by Mary.
Oh, that's right. He thought he was going to see her, but it was her mom.
Yeah.
See, I'd have wrote the script and went ahead and hit that anyway. To show you how ruthless Christopher Tracy really is.
That is the game.
Shoot. What song would he could have played for that one? Shit, I don't know.
That was perfect. New Position.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was thinking, if there any other song that wasn't on the album that would have been a cold move. Mary Claire, Denise and Belle.
Scarlet Pussy or Shakadelica?
Hey. He ain't got no like three-way song. I Did Your Mama songs in there. Prince ain't go that wild.
Nah, he didn't do it. I hit it first. Nah, he did that.
I Did Your Mama song.
Well, I mean, he got the sister song, you know, so I'm saying he was a wild boy, man. It's act like he wasn't a wild boy.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you brought that up. I was thinking back to the BET Prince tribute. I would love to know what that audience would have thought if somebody played Sister.
Wow. They probably wouldn't even allow that. Too much. Anyway, all right. Anything else that we think we got into more than we planned? Real quick. I know I was gonna. We'll end it out with this. I'll go and find this and play it. The young lady from Alabama Shakes. What's her name?
Yes, Britney Howard.
Britney Howard. She has a great Prince story that she told on the Breakfast Club. That we'll play it here. I'll grab that. But yeah, I didn't really know much about her before, but watching that and listening to it made me want to go and seek her out. But I thought it was a really great story. Go ahead.
When she first came out with Alabama Shakes and their big single, I forget the name of it, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And then I saw her do the breakdown on her solo tour. I'm like, okay, she can play. She's one of us. Because it's one thing, to do Purple Rain or Little Red Corvette. She came out with the breakdown and tore it up. I mean, this was on the level of Esperanza Spalding doing If I Was Your Girlfriend. It was that good.
Okay. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
And then I watched that clip you're going to put up, learn a lot about her and where her influences come from and all this. I'm like, whoa, this woman is real, man. She's heavy.
Yeah, it's dope because I didn't know anything about her, and I had saw the title, so I was like, okay, let me let me listen to this. And I just kind of let it play in the background. And then when she gets to the Prince story, I'm listening to it. I was like, you know what? That is so dope. And I loved and appreciated, the way that she appreciated having that opportunity and the way she described it and what it meant to her. It was a high point and couldn't believe it, and just being there the way she described it. And I'm like, that's a dope thing when I hear other artists talk about working with Prince or being around him. And there's people that we would never know, like would have never known anything about that unless she said something, because it's not someone that you necessarily would associate with Prince. Now, maybe the people that were at that show, obviously at Paisley Park, would know about it. But I love hearing these types of people that I just wouldn't even think to know about. And they have these cool Prince stories, and just goes to show, like, dude was in tune with so much, and he meant so much, particularly to like other musicians, like, especially when you're young and coming up, and you know who Prince is and the history of it and what he means to the game. And then when he reaches out to you, I love hearing that type of stuff, man. That's the stuff that's to me. It's like, it's just like with anybody who's very influential, and then the people that are in their field get that opportunity, almost like a once in a lifetime opportunity, to be around that person, or to get some game, or just to observe. That's one of the most powerful, like, testimonies, and sort of almost like like I can imagine for her, she was like, you know what? If nothing, it don't matter what nobody else say. Prince, he done co-signed me. Like, he knew who, she said, I didn't even know he would know who I was. And the fact that he did, and like, that stamp of approval, that's the success I can see for a lot of musicians. Like, you know what? Anything happens after that, I'm cool, whether y'all like it or not. Like this nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like, it don't get no better than that. So it was dope. That was dope. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boy, gave you a long one to talk about, to think about. There's a lot that we talked about in here. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the estate thing that we talked about earlier, the Parade album, the battles, what do you think about that? So, there you go. Big Sexy and Sack, where can they find you online?
Same place as always, WSE Mark on Twitter, Facebook, Mark Wiggins, Instagram, Mark Wiggins 2, and there will be no Michelin star reviews up anytime soon. Damn.
All right. Aunt Pooh.
I mean, I don't understand why. Aren't those Michelin... Aren't those restaurants still open? I mean, for takeout? Ah, damn.
Some are, but the bulk of them are not.
Oh, okay. Well, Twitter and Instagram and Aunt Pooh.
All right. You got a full house, boy. And you quarantine. That's parenting.
Yes, it is.
I feel for you. I understand it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, man, I hope that this brought some fun, or at least something else besides Corona and all that to think about. So hopefully that helps you. And help us. Times are tough out here, as you already know. I'm on my preacher. Well, you better tie. Nah, I'm just joking. But if you can, join our Patreon page if you could. You can join for just as low as $1. But anything helps, keeps things going. But then again, I understand that it's wild out here right now. But if you get that Corona check, slide us $1. How about that? The stimulus package. But anyway, have a great time, a great day. And lastly, I'm going to say work like a job, but also, you know what? You're at home. Yeah, you're going to watch your TV. That's what they want you to do. But this is a perfect time to pick up a book. Remember those? This is a great time to pick up a book and get some reading in, man. So, and it's also a perfect time to maybe do some shit that you didn't used to do. You didn't have time to do. Maybe you want to start your own podcast. Maybe you want to start a blog or whatever. This is the perfect time to do it. Because if you don't do it now, chances are you probably weren't going to never do it no way. But now that you don't have an excuse, hey, I'm challenging you. Do it. So with that said, working like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.
You had the chance to jam out with Paul McCartney too, right?
Yeah, Paul McCartney.
Is there anything that could top that?
Prince.
Well, that's not going to happen. But I feel you, Prince.
Actually, it did happen.
Oh, you jammed out with Prince.
Oh, Prince.
I did jam with Prince. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Was it at his house?
It was at Paisley Park.
How was that?
It was the best day of my life.
Tell us about it.
I'll walk you through it. So,
please.
Get
this better be as good as Charlie Murphy's.
Never mind.
You gotta tell us who else was there.
Tell us about it.
How it happened.
Walk us through it.
Did you play basketball?
Walk us through it.
Okay. So we get this phone call. It was like Prince's assistant. He was like, yo, Prince wants y'all to come play Paisley Park. Can y'all make it happen? Yep. All right.
Word.
So the buses pull up. They're like, all right, no smoking, no cussing, no meat. We're like, okay, we're going to break all them rules, but feel you, I got you. So we go up to the room, and we're just sitting around. It's this huge complex. They were like building a stage, there's a motorcycle hanging from the ceiling, I think. Just a wild place. They were showing a children's movie on a projector. What was that movie? Anyways, so I was like, that's weird, but okay. So we go do our sound check and everything, and then this guy, Prince's assistant, was like, hey, Prince would like to meet you. And I was like, ooh. And guess who else heard it? The whole rest of the band. So like 15 of us are walking through his home, and we walked to this room that had purple carpet and this really strange 90s piano, really hot in there. And then all the walls are painted like a sky. And then we take a left, and there's just like this long hallway, and it's just got these like photos that have been printed onto wood that are different images of him throughout the years. It was like 1992, and he's like, you know, and then we take a right, and there's Prince. He's in the studio. He's wearing all beige. He's got like a little hoodie on, and I was like, hey, Prince. He's like, hey, how you doing? Real deep voice. I was like, I'm good. You know, I don't know what to talk to Prince about. So we're all in there, and everybody just kind of sitting there like, you know, nobody knows what to say. So I'm like a nervous talker, so I just started talking to him. I don't remember what I talked to him about. But I remember him being really funny. I remember him, I wouldn't say he was shy. I just say he's like real measured. You know, he just waits to speak. So he's like, I'd like to play on one of y'all's songs. And I was like, really? What song? And he said, I want to play that song, Give Me All Your Love. Okay. What key's that in? F sharp. All right, I'm going to go work on something. I'm going to be out there. Okay. So it's time to do the show later, right?
Now,
so
who's at the show? Just random people, or?
Yeah, they announced it, and then whoever showed up first got to get him.
Y'all left Paisley Park at this point.
No, we're still at
Paisley Park. Okay.
We just like kind of just like waiting around, getting ready for the show. At this point, we're on the stage. We're doing a show. The show's going great. Room's full of people. Then the song comes up, and I'm playing it. Prince is nowhere to be seen. I was like, I know he did not just. I know he did not just bail on me. I'm up here looking so stupid. And then we get to the bridge section, and I knew that's where he was gonna come in. That's the best place for him to come in. So I'm just like, all right, I guess he ain't gonna come up here. That's disappointing. And then over to my right, he just pops on stage. He got a guitar on, got a green suit on, he's got a guitar. He just starts ripping a solo. And I'm just like, everybody, the whole place just lit up. The whole place is just like, people are like, I can't believe it's Prince. And I can't believe it's Prince. And he's ripping the best solo I ever heard in my life. And then I'm like, I'm gonna double solo with Prince real quick. This is probably the only time I could ever do this in my life. Me and him just double soloing. It was epic. And then he was done and the song was over. And he kissed me on the cheek. And he jumped off the stage into the darkness. Just like a little, just...
He disappeared, he vanished.
Yeah, like a nymph.
Is there video footage of any of those ever, or he didn't allow anything like that?
I do got some bootleg video.
So Brittany.
But now let's tell you about our Prince story.
Wait a minute though. Brittany, you ain't get no pancakes?
I played a little basketball, actually.
Play basketball.
I said you played basketball.
But not with Prince. Shut up, man. All right, no, listen. Okay, here's the next part of the story. Here's the next part of the story, though. So, I get on the bus, everything like that. We're about to roll out, and his assistant comes back up, and his name is Trevor, and he's like, "Yo, Prince he's on the phone. Somebody wants to talk to you." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, did you have a good time?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." I turned into like a little girl in high school. So it's like, "Yes, I had the best time."
It's amazing.
And he was like, "All right, keep an eye out in your emails because I'm gonna hit you up. I want to work with you." And I was like, "That's crazy." So. Hung up the phone. I checked my email every day until I found out he passed away. I checked the spam, the junk. I checked everything. I checked email addresses I didn't even give him. Yeah. So.
Well, at least you met him.
Yeah, I met him,
And got
play
to
with him.
jam
Play with him.
That's
That's
amazing.
that's a lifelong memory.
The fact that he even knew I existed
Yes.
is enough for me.
So wait, people don't get paid for that though, right? You just go and do it.
Did we get paid?
I'm just curious because I know.
We got paid a little bit, like our expenses, because there was like 1,000 people.
Amazing. What a guy.
We have a Prince story. We met Prince too.
Ours is so irrelevant compared.
You want to tell him the Prince story, Charlamagne?
No.
He was up here like 5 in the morning one morning, and
At 5.
yeah,
5 in the morning.
And somebody was like, "Yo, Prince is in the building." We like Prince, so we put everything on automation. And as soon as we got to that door right there, he was walking down the hall with 2 old white women, and he came over. He spoke. He was very polite. And
Charlamagne was a little schoolgirl.
I didn't know what to say either,
girl.
just like you. So what came out of my mouth was, "I grew up Jehovah's Witness too," and he
Not
was,
even like a hello. He's like, I grew up Jehovah's Witness too.
That's fine.
Just like that.
And he was like, "Thank you."
Nice.
He was like, "We got to talk about that one day." And then I asked him for a picture, and he was like, "No, I don't take pictures." And he walked away, and I took a picture of him,
Even though he said no.
and he was floating. He was about this much off the ground. He had on a purple cape. I showed everybody in the room a picture of him floating, and about 10 seconds later, where that picture was in my phone, it was just black.
Disappeared.
I'm not making this up.